I used to have like Nigerian colleagues,
Yeah.
and my Saudi colleagues used to think like she's gorgeous. She was, but it was this like, I looking at her and thinking, oh my God, you got like such beautiful lips, you have such high cheekbones, and it's like those prominent African features that they find very beautiful now, and they're trying to go for it, like getting, lip fillers or BBLs. It's quite common in Saudi, or tanning all the time.
BBLs in Saudi?
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya and this is the Repat podcast. Now, on today's episode, I am joined by the beautiful and lovely Milka. Give an applause. Milka, tell the people who you are.
I'm Milka. I'm Eritrean. I live in Uganda. I moved from Saudi 4 years ago, and I have a son, and I'm married, and we've made Uganda our home.
Lovely. O'Shea, to the new people watching.
Still waiting on one of you lovely ladies to take me off the market. I'm just saying,
Open call. O'Shea, please go ahead.
Okay, so this young lady, I believe she contacted the
Kenganda.
Yeah. So I was shocked to know that when Joan said that somebody from Eritrea wanted to come to the podcast, I'm like, what? They do? And that was a great opportunity for us to explore a community that is the big unknown in Africa. It's between Eritrea, Ethiopia. Like we see it and we hear about it, but we just don't know about it. And we know a few things. I think a lot of the men and the women, they appreciate how Eritreans look. Can we use the word demure?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
So demure. Actually, demure is an old word, but one of the things you're talking about, because people don't know in podcasting, we have a lot of off the record conversations, typically getting to know each other before the podcast starts.
Yeah.
And we have those are actually the better conversations that are not recorded.
True.
And you started talking about in detail the colorism issue within the Eritrean community. And it kind of started off when you were talking about how you get benefits of being light-skinned in Uganda. So let's kind of start there.
Yeah.
And then we can get into your community as how colorism affects it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's like benefits, because it like irritates me a lot to be called Muzungu, which is white.
Yeah, in
Because,
Uganda.
it's like very irritating for me, because I believe in my African and Black identity, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And I've been so I've always felt so Black. So when I come here, I discovered that I don't fit in, because I'm shades lighter, and people will be like, "You're not Black," and so it has a positive thing, because people think not really positive, but people treat you more nicer, or they look at you nice. It's just this perception that they have of being, white. So it's like I deserve better treatment. But at the same time, like I said, they also think you have more money. So.
Yeah. Well, the way you look plus your accent, a true Ugandan would charge you 2 times.
Yeah.
Let me before I cut you off, because your accent really is not what someone would consider from Eritrea, right?
Yeah.
And that is because you grew up in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
You're born in Eritrea or born in Saudi Arabia?
I was born and raised in Saudi. I've lived there for the last 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're born in Saudi Arabia, and okay, so let's kind of start there. What when you grew up in Saudi, in comparisons to in the international community that you were in, what did you have to identify yourself as in Saudi Arabia?
As a Black person.
Okay.
Nothing more, nothing less. Because people, when I used to say I'm Eritrean, they're not so familiar with it. So I would just say I'm African, or my country's next to Ethiopia or Sudan. It was easier to explain, especially when I was younger. So I always went I'm African. And of course, when you're out there, nobody really cares what your shade is.
You're just black.
You're just black.
Okay.
So it was just like an identity like I embraced. Yeah.
How are blacks in general looked at in Saudi Arabia, in your opinion?
I mean, it's a very conservative Arab culture. And what most people don't know is Saudi Arabia also has like a history of slavery. So considering all those things, it's like, of course, there's like racism, there's stereotypes, there's like derogatory terms, and it's like just how it could be in America. Because like I said, there's a history of slavery that people don't really talk about.
Okay.
But like it's not that great to
So
be black.
So blacks are looked at as less than overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you come to Uganda and you're looking to be what you
fit
thought. Yeah, you're looking to fit in
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, I'm in the sea of black.
Yeah.
And Ugandans are like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're
Like,
white.
I was discussing it with you about like black excellence and feeling like at home because I'm in an African country.
Yeah.
When I came here, I was like amazed because I didn't expect like to have that much black excellence or to see, you know, sophisticated, rich black people.
Yeah.
And it left like a mark on me the first time I came, and I thought like, oh my God, I love it here because, you know, it's my people.
Right.
And then when I moved here and started to discover that I'm not really seen as one
Being
of
one of
them.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it kind of like is disappointing because, like I said, out there in the world, nobody really cares what shade you are. You're just black. The same, you know, systemic racism, the same things that any black person would face, you face it. Like they don't pick and choose based on how light you are or how dark you are. Yeah.
Okay. So take us, now that we have that as a precedent, take us deep into this idea of, because Eritreans, Ethiopians, Somalians are naturally more lighter. Of course, you can even have some West Africans that are lighter, depending on where they may be from, and it's there. But normally, Eritreans, Somalians, Djibouti, they're more lighter or more admixture.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are in awe of those women, and like very exotic. And what we didn't know is that even within these groups, there is a colorism identity issue. How deep is it?
It is quite deep because everybody wants to be lighter than they already are. Like, for example, Ugandans look at your average Eritrean woman and think like she's brown, she's light enough.
She's light.
Yeah, and then you don't know, but she's also trying to get lighter than that.
Yeah.
It is true because I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've seen it amongst like people I know, and it's just the perception that the lighter you are, the better, the prettier you look, or you look better, or you know, it's just the idea that people have.
Yeah, before we get to the reason why people think being lighter makes you more pretty, we were talking behind the scenes and you told me about, did you know that Eritreans also bleach? I think you're asking like, did you know? I was just like, yeah, I know. I think I've seen it because I've seen some Eritreans with like dark knuckles. So I kind of figured that they do bleach. And then most of the shops that mix the creams are also like Eritrean best.
And even Somalis.
Yeah, Somalis and Eritreans, like the ones that sell those products. It's actually, please don't quote me on this, but like weirdly enough, it's mostly refugees that do like the bleaching creams. Because even in Western Uganda, it's the Congolese that take that one. But yeah, that's unfortunate. But what do you think is the reason why some Eritreans will think like, if I'm lighter, I'm more pretty? Because like to me, if I see an Eritrean, you're already light. Like how lighter do you want to be?
Exactly. I think it's to do with like colonized minds. For so long, you know, Africa, we've been colonized, and we've perceived like our white colonizers as like better looking or have better status than us. And like Eritreans, we've been colonized by Italians, and you know, when there was a mix between Eritrean and Italians. The product
Mm.
is
Was lighter.
like they have a reference for it. Oh, she looks like she's been mixed because it's seen as better, and I think it stems from that. Yeah, I think it's part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dare I say I blame the men? Sorry, is what I mean. I do actually for this one. I think the men have to take this one because I feel like for Ugandans, the more when they see a light skinned woman, it's like, oh, she's exotic.
Yeah.
So she has the appeal of being exotic. Or if someone looks at you right now, though, sorry to use you as an example, they'll say, oh, she's mixed. There's a thing they say mixed. And to us, it's not like you're mixed with white. To us, you're mixed with maybe Arabic or something else, not white mixed, but there's another mixture that when you mix it with Ugandan, it's like the top tier girl.
Yeah.
So now that's like the most ideal girl
Yeah.
for most Ugandan men. Like if they find a mixed girl, they've arrived. They've made it. The
Yeah.
village people are happy about that.
That is true.
Wait, the village people were happy too?
Yeah.
A lot of people have
Bring
said
for us a
that.
mixed girl because in their mind, mixed babies,
Yeah, they're
because like
better
it trickles
looking.
down.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that, in Uganda, when a man's successful, it's when he has a white, lighter skinned
Yeah.
girl.
One of the richest men in Uganda, all his 3 wives, light skinned.
And there's also like a
There.
term that most Ugandans use that I've heard to refer to like lighter skinned people is like, are you half caste?
Half caste,
Like,
mixed half caste.
It's
Yeah.
like, I find it so derogatory because half caste is more like, it has more like colonial roots to it. And we still use terms like that are not so uplifting for us as Black people. But at the same time, I do blame the men too,
Thank you.
because you have to be, first of all, proud of your women. Like, if you're
Yeah.
dark skinned, a dark skinned woman brought you to this world.
Thank you.
And how can you like not think that's beautiful and want to go for something that you've been brainwashed to think is better looking?
Yeah.
I think it's the men, and then women also try to
Do
become
that.
appealing. Yeah.
Before I know people are now turning off, but we also want to take accountability and say, obviously, women also have a role to play in this.
Yeah.
Because if you think you have to become lighter to get the attention of a man, then initially you as yourself, you have a problem. If you don't
Yeah.
think like your melanin is
You're not
is-
beautiful enough. Yeah.
yeah. But I wanted to say it's it's surprising.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that some Eritreans do bleach, but it's surprising that the lighter ones want to become lighter. I think that's the thing that stood out to O'Shea, that
Yeah. So like when I say lighter ones wanting to become lighter is like, when I came to Uganda, I realized that your average Eritrean is perceived as lighter, even though they could be just the very brown, like the very basic skin tone. And then, so in Eritrea, she doesn't see herself as light enough, so she wants to become lighter. Whereas Ugandans are looking at her and thinking that is light enough. So
yeah,
it's kind of like a weird thing.
dynamic.
But I think that it stems from like all of us not being proud of our
Yeah.
melanin, like you said.
Yeah, and what happens to like the dark-skinned Eritreans? Like, what happens?
I mean, it's not like so bad because my husband is dark skinned.
Okay.
Like, he's your skin tone, and yeah, there is things that are like, oh, but like you're dark skinned, or oh, but like he's too dark. There are words like that, and then we use also derogatory terms like when you see someone who's kind of darker than everybody, you have like a nickname for him.
What's the nickname?
I don't want to say.
No, you can say it. We'll bleep it
It's like
out.
the word slave for in like our
Oh.
language. Yeah.
What's the word?
It's like barya.
Okay.
So it also has like colonial roots.
Yeah.
And like our history, when you go dig into it, there was also like slave ownership and things like that. So I think it stems from there.
The Italians own the Eritreans?
No, even with like Eritrean, like when you go back into the history before Italians,
Eritreans had slaves
yeah,
within Eritrea.
yeah, like just like Ethiopians also.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like classism was there. Like certain class of people were perceived
Better.
superior, and then you have like
just
less-
a question.
yeah.
And even before the white people came and colonized, there were slaves. Were those slaves black even back then?
I think it has to do with like your family line
Okay.
more than your skin color.
Oh.
But like those things are so ancient now. We don't have that anymore
Yeah.
in our country.
Definitely.
But we do have colorism.
Mm.
And I don't know, I might get a lot of heat from Eritreans because the Eritreans are very proud always, but like that's the truth. We have a lot of colorism and we need to own up, like we need to own our Black identity as much as we own up our Eritrean identity.
So, if there's colorism on the women who are getting lighter, then I also must believe that because you guys blame it on the man. I heard that. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna leave my
Yeah.
Kevin
say
Samuels man. No, not this podcast. I'm gonna be okay today. I'm tired now. So the men who are doing well in Eritrea are in the diaspora. What is their preference since these women are bleaching and it happens? Not all women, but what are the Eritrean men when they want a wife in general? What are they looking for?
It's not like as bad as Ugandan men that only want to fish. Like
Yeah.
And
Let's not sugarcoat it.
You got men are really like that.
Yeah. Defend yourself in the comment section.
Yeah.
So your color is bad.
Yeah. I wouldn't be perceived. I don't want to say the big word.
I mean,
But
not all men.
Not all men, definitely.
But the majority is that.
But if I was walking with like a lighter skinned girl, they would obviously go to her.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm not fighting it. Do you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as that where you have to get a light skinned woman.
Yeah.
But when like Eritrean men are looking for wives, I think most Eritrean men look for like someone who's got the Eritrean identity deeply rooted into them. I don't think like color is the first choice. But of course, I think with Eritreans, it's more within women, within each other, more than the men, I can say from my experience.
When you say it's more within the women, what do you mean?
Like it's women with each other that have that competition of
who's lighter.
Yeah, or she's lighter, so she's more prettier or whatever.
Okay.
And also, like, I have not seen, like, so growing up in Saudi, we never had that. Like, we didn't see anyone bleaching. So I see it more within the Eritreans that come from back home, more than Eritreans in the diaspora. And I think maybe it's because when you grow up abroad, you identify with being Black and you're proud of it, so you don't feel the need to. Yeah. So that's the difference.
So the Eritreans that come to, let's say, Uganda, and with the bleaching, so because they're probably not going to be here that long, we talked about that in the last episode. So they're bleaching to look prettier for who? Like, I mean, I understand there has to be an end goal to, okay, I want to bleach, but I want to risk my skin for something in the end, like kind of how women are getting BBLs in the States and stuff like that. You know, like, is there another end goal for some of them?
Well, I think women back in Eritrea also bleach. So it's not just when they come to Uganda. Yeah. But I think they do it, like I said, it's probably maybe for like more validation, for like internal validation. Because at the end of the day, like when Eritrean men abroad, especially the ones who are from back home and gone to the Western countries and are looking for wives, they're just looking for a very traditional wife that's going to, fit into the mold of like the culture and being a housewife more than anything else.
Okay.
So I think they do it more for like themselves.
So is there more opportunity? Like, for example, I know in Uganda, I can't say for everybody, but people can feel if I am a mixed person or a light-skinned person, I have more opportunity in Uganda versus a person that's dark of the same talent. Now, I know you don't live in Eritrea, but assuming that would be the case, do you feel that a person in Eritrea who's lighter has more opportunity than someone who is not?
Maybe yes, to a certain extent.
What certain extent?
Like when we were talking about marriage, maybe like if someone had to choose between like the darker guy or the less darker guy, like I don't know exactly, but I feel like yeah, there's certain things that could be better for someone when they're lighter. Also like how you're perceived. Like I said, like my husband is darker.
My skin.
Yeah, and my mom is also darker.
Yeah.
My dad's the light one. So there's always this idea of like, but they're dark. Like,
They're
it's
just
more like when he married me, it's more like, oh my God, you're so lucky. You got a lighter wife. So now your kids are not gonna be
like you.
as dark as you.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, it is the truth.
Yeah, no, it's just that I'm digesting everything.
Have you seen that picture in Brazil? Maybe we can put it on the screen, but there's a picture of this Brazilian grandmother who is thanking God, right? And like she's praying to God. And then in the photo is her mulatto daughter
Okay.
who married a white guy with a white baby. And then the black grandmother is like thanking God that now the baby, her great grandkid is now white. Have you seen it before?
No.
It's a big time Brazilian photo.
Imagine that. And would you say parents encourage or discourage marriages based on skin tone?
Yeah, I mean, they would say it. Like, I don't think like they would act fully on it, but there's more like, oh, but like, isn't he too dark?
Ooh.
It's not so, it's more like something very casually that you say,
Yeah.
but comes off,
So off the camera, you talk about you lived in Saudi Arabia, and you've noticed something that Saudi Arabian women are doing. What's that?
Well, like now when I was in Saudi, for me, I used to have like Nigerian colleagues,
Yeah.
and my Saudi colleagues used to think like she's gorgeous. She was, but it was this like, I looking at her and thinking, oh my God, you got like such beautiful lips, you have such high cheekbones, and it's like those prominent African features that they find very beautiful now, and they're trying to go for it, like getting, lip fillers or BBLs. It's quite common in Saudi, or tanning all the time.
BBLs in Saudi?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think I've seen it, yeah. Yeah.
So wait a minute. The Eritreans are trying to look. The Africans want to look more white, and the Arabs want to look more.
Yeah, it's even with like our hair, that when our hair is more curlier and everything, they find it so beautiful. Like I had Saudi colleagues that used to tell me, "Oh my God, I wish I could curl my hair just like you."
I wish it could
Yeah,
blow up.
or they would want to be so tan that
Yeah. I never understood why they tan.
Because women are confused.
But then the hands will be white. But it's just like because they keep washing their hands.
Or like when they put on makeup, they put a lot of bronzer, like to have that look. Yeah, and it's also like pop culture now, where like all those features, like having big lips or BBLs, is popular.
Yeah. Do you think with how the world is more exposed now with media and whatnot, do you think people are still moving towards becoming more lighter? Because now being black is a trend. It's more celebrated.
Yeah, I used to think the same way, because like when you're in Arab countries or when you're in the Western countries, even black Arabs are proud of their melanin. There's more like advocacy to be proud of being black and all that. So people are more like embracing their blackness. But when you come to Africa, it's still rampant. Like to be one to see it as like being dark is not good enough, or to want to be lighter. It's, I think, worse within the continent.
Wow. Wow, that's unfortunate. Anyway, what's your message to the beautiful young girls who are watching? To anyone who's watching, to our viewers?
I just think we have to be proud of our color. There's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. It's true, for years we've been told that, we're not beautiful enough, or our features are not worthy enough of being popular in mainstream pop culture. But we have to put ours, like, we don't need someone to tell us your skin tone is beautiful or your features are beautiful. We have to just embrace it.
Yeah.
We have to own it. Especially like to Eritrean women, like that I have from my own experience that have told me like they prefer to be lighter. I just think like we don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Before we leave, have you taken your pretty privilege to your advantage? Have you used it to your advantage? You can be honest.
Not so much in Uganda. But like when you're in Saudi and you're a woman, you're already
Pretty
more
African
privileged.
women, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you're a little bit more exotic looking, like, as like an African woman, you can use it. There were times maybe like we've let it get used, like we didn't stop it. Like I didn't stop it. So like I'm not gonna lie and say like I didn't know what was happening, but
Yeah.
Free meals.
Free food.
Yeah.
Did the Saudi men approach you more because you looked exotic to them?
Yeah.
Hot.
It's gonna be surprising, but Saudi men, I think they prefer like tanned women. Like it's different.
Like dark skinned.
It's different because there are also like certain tribes that prefer lighter women, and then but like they also follow the mainstream
What's happening?
Like what's happening. So like now being like darker, tanned is seen as more popular in Saudi. So I guess they like that.
Yeah.
Do Saudi men marry
Saudi women?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
It happens.
Yeah.
But
it
it's
happens.
rare.
It's not so common, but it happens.
Okay.
There's always that one.
There's a lot of American women married to Saudi
that
women. Yeah, that's like a very big community.
So American women married to Saudi men.
Yeah.
Are they like whites?
I almost asked that.
There's whites and there's also like black women.
Black American women.
Yeah.
Married to Saudi men.
Yeah. There's also like a black that I know, the black Saudi woman who's married a white American man.
Okay. There's a lot of mixing and matching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Tell people where they can find you.
I have Instagram. It's milka.tew.
Okay. Please be respectful when you reach out to her. Okay.
Don't message me.
Okay. On that note, please follow us on all our social media pages at Kengana Nation. The description box also has a link to our WhatsApp group. We review new participants. Can I call them that? Like if you tap the link and request to join, we have to review you and make sure you're not something and something.
Crazy.
That too. But yeah, follow me at Janita Maya on all platforms and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.